There's a small language called C++ that added classes to C, and I'm going to learn it in the worst way possible, by solving LeetCode problems. But here's the thing, I've only ever solved 2 LeetCode problems in my whole life, and they were in Java. So I'm going to try to learn C++ by solving 3 LeetCode problems. 2 easy, 1 medium. Let's see how many I can solve. Why are these days red? I think I was supposed to be solving some of these. Oh, each day has a daily problem, and I haven't been solving them. Okay, so I already have the problem that I want to solve uh, written down because I asked ChatGPT for good problems for C++. Okay, so this is LeetCode problem 206, reverse linked list. Given the head of a singly linked list, reverse the list and return the reversed list. Okay, this is quite simple in C, so I'm not sure how different C++ is going to be. Oh, it already looks so different. Why is it in a class? I thought that was only a Java thing. Okay, so we have to return a list node pointer given a list head pointer. Okay. Okay, I'll be honest, I forgot how to do this even in C. Can I just make a new list? Okay, I'm gonna do the naive solution, and I'm going to just loop until I get to the end of the list, and then make a new list, and then just go... Wait, no, I can't do that. Okay, so in the first iteration, we can access these two. So this would be the current pointer. I don't know why I'm drawing the arrows every time. Yeah, and then, so that would be like one iteration, or like not necessarily one iteration, I mean like one loop, but we would need to use a nested loop. Wait, it's not a for loop, it should be a while loop. And then current next equals temp. Okay, yeah, that actually makes sense. But this is just one loop. How do I get it to be in 2 loops? Okay, so obviously the other... Wait, I should have revised before I started this challenge. Okay, this is actually crazy because this isn't even like a C++ thing. Even if this was C, I don't know how to do this. I'm a bit stuck. Okay, I give up. How to reverse linked list. 3 pointers. Why do we need 3 pointers? Okay, I'm not gonna actually look at the code. I just want to look at like the theory behind it. Oh! So I'm trying to do this in like O of n squared when you can just do this in O of n. So basically what that means is like this is a very slow approach because it has 2 like nested loops. But the way they do it here, when you use a previous pointer, you can just do it in one pass or one loop. Okay. Okay, honestly, I'm literally just gonna restart. I don't know how to restart. Can I do it like this? No, it saved my solution. Okay. Okay, we need a previous pointer. List node prev equals null. And then after that, we need to move on to the next like, yeah, the next thing. And so, yeah, we can just do current equals current next. Okay, for some reason it's still empty. Yeah, it's not actually advancing. So what if we do, yeah, because we make current next equal to current. So this is just saying current equals current, which means it's not doing anything. So we need to do current equals temp. But yeah, this should actually work. Let's see. This is actually so embarrassing. Okay, so we need to advance all of our pointers, bro. What are we doing? What? Oh my god. Did this actually work? Okay, like on one hand, I got a lot of dopamine from seeing this green accepted. But I have been doing this for the past 45 minutes, and that's really embarrassing. Like this isn't even a C++ problem. This is just like data structures and algorithms, and I did use Google once, so I'm gonna give myself a 0 out of 1 for this. Not even because like C++ is necessarily bad, just because I didn't solve it right. Okay, so I picked the next problem because it will give me experience working with arrays in C++. So we are given an array called prices that stores, well, the price of a given stock. So prices at index I is the price of a given stock on the ith day. So for example, on the first day, the price is 7, on the second day, the price is 1, and on the third day, the price is 5, and so on for the entire array. If we have a stock price like this, it's not like we can buy in the future and then sell it in the past. It has to be the other way around. This is some very high level illustrations. So we need to avoid an edge case where technically this is the lowest the stock price gets, but the amount of profit that we could get by selling it like this won't be as much as the amount of profit that we'll get from selling it like this. So we need to keep track of both the minimum and the best profit that we got so far. So I'll start with declaring two variables, one for the maximum profit so far and one for the minimum that we've seen. I'll actually initialize this to be the first element of prices, because now I need to figure out how to get the size of this. I want something like prices.length, but I'm not sure if this is correct, so I'm just gonna... If I use Google, like, is it counted as... It's not cheating, like, this isn't... I'm still solving the problem on my own. I'm just searching how to use C++, right? So it's learning, so it doesn't count, right? Okay, so this website says that we can just use dot size, and the first thing that we should do is update our minimum. And now we also need to compute the profit if we sell on this day. I'll make a new variable called current profit and make it equal to prices at I minus the minimum. So if the current profit is greater than max profit, then we'll just update max profit to be current profit. So return maximum profit. Okay, let's run this and hope everything goes as planned. Okay, it was accepted for both cases. Let's submit it. I just realized, like, submitting it isn't something I did for the past problem, but 7 milliseconds beats 6.82%. So most people got a faster solution than this. Okay, so, like, even though I only beat, like, 7% of people who solved this problem, I'm still gonna count this as valid because, like, it was accepted. Now the question is, should I give myself the point for this problem? Like, I did use Google once to get the size, but to be honest, it's not like related to the problem itself, so I'm gonna give myself half a point for this. The main thing that I learned from this problem was that this is a thing. Prices.size is a thing, and I'm not exactly sure what this vector int is. Let's go read what a vector is. Vectors are sequence containers representing arrays that can change in size. Okay, I don't know what a sequence container is. Their size can change dynamically. Oh, vectors use a dynamically allocated array. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna remember that vectors are dynamically sized arrays, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Okay, so I asked ChatGPT to give me a problem that requires using the standard template library, or STL, because so far the last two problems was just me being bad at code. Like, it wasn't a C++ thing. I wasn't learning anything specific to C++. So supposedly this problem requires using an unordered map, which I have no experience with, so I'm gonna try to learn about unordered maps with this problem. So this is problem 49, group anagrams. So given an array of strings, strs, group the anagrams together. So for example, eat, tea, and 8 are all anagrams of one another. So we group them together like this, and then we just do the same for the other strings, and then we return all of that. So what we're returning is a vector string. And I'm going into this completely blind, okay? Like, ChatGPT just said that you use an unordered map. I don't know how exactly. I don't know how unordered maps work, so I'm just gonna try to figure it out on my own and see if this is a good way to learn some C++. Is an associative... Actually, wait, this might not be STL, because this is the standard, like, yeah, this is standard. Associative container that contains key-value pairs with unique keys. Search, insertion, and removal are in O of 1. So you can map strings to other strings, and I'm assuming that you can map any data type to any other data type as well. So how is this related to this problem? So I assume that when we encounter a unique string, so it's not an anagram of anything that we have currently, then we're going to add it as a new entry, okay? But if it is an anagram of one of these, then we have to add it here. So we'll have an unordered map. String is okay, and then the other side vector string. So I'll just copy this. I'll just name it map. And now I want to loop over strs. And yes, I know you can probably use like an enhanced for loop, but I don't want to do that right now. So how can you check for permutations? I could implement it manually, but there has to be like another way of doing that. Okay, so this approach, which it says it's naive, but we sort both strings and then we compare them directly. I'm not sure if I can make a helper function, but I'm gonna try. So if is anagram, wait, we need to loop over all of the anagrams that we've stored so far. So we need to get something like map.size, Okay, so yeah, we can just do dot size. And then if is anagram, something like map at index j, but that's not how you access an element, right? Oh, fine. Yeah, that's the reason we're using this map. Yeah, the whole reason we're using this map is to avoid this like brute force approach. Yeah, so we want something like this. We want to use the find function. Okay, so the way we can check if a key is already there, we can just compare find with this end function. Okay, in that case, we don't need this function. We just need to sort them. So this is the case where there is an anagram. So we can just append strs at index I to the array of strings. But how can you do that? Oh, so we can just access it directly like this. Okay, so we can just do dot insert. But we also have to handle the case where it's not found. So in this case, we just need to add to the map. Wait, but this also says insert. Is it just the same name? Okay, but this time we're inserting a key value pair. So the key is the sorted string. The value we want to actually add is strs at index I. No matching member function for call to insert. Yeah, look, there's no way that these two functions have the same name, but they're being used for a different purpose. So the thing is, we want to insert to a key that already exists. Vector pushback, add element at the end. Okay, that's what we want. So if we change this to push back, so what I'm trying to do is, now that we have the anagrams in a map, we have to return it as a vector string. So I need to collect all of the vector strings of the map, but that is just not working right now. So I'm using map.insert incorrectly. So this line of code here is incorrect. And also this for loop at the end should be this instead. So they're using the auto keyword, which I think this automatically assigns a type. So I'm just going to copy this. I did not expect this to become vibe coding. Oh, yeah, it's because each map has a pair. It's a key value pair, and I want the second part of the pair. Okay, so it's not vibe coding anymore because I understand now, right, guys? Anyways, and then instead of map.insert, it should be map for the key sorted equals a new vector string of strs at I. But does this work if you add to it? No, because in this case, we're creating a new entry in the map. Yeah, so it makes sense that we're creating a completely new vector string with strs at I being the first element. Okay, let's see if it runs. Okay, it passes all the test cases. Okay, so it beats all the test cases. And it's still not the most efficient solution. And I think also this end L, like I've heard things about this in C++, that this adds a lot of runtime. So I want to see how much it improves from 67 milliseconds when I get rid of just the print statement, okay? I still have the if statements here. Oh my god, 16 milliseconds. So just the print statement alone accounted for like, I don't know, 67 minus 16, 60. Okay, so obviously, I didn't just use Google, I used ChatGPT, which is like 10 times worse. But to be honest, it's really cool seeing how C++ like has this stuff baked in. Obviously, if this was C, like you'd have to implement this from scratch, and that would be like 10 times more painful because strings don't exist in C. So even though I did learn a lot, like I learned that there's this unordered map and that there are entire like data structures that you can use in C, I'm still gonna give myself 0 out of 10 for this. So, is this a good way to learn C++? Honestly, in the beginning, I didn't think so. Me forgetting how to reverse a linked list is not a C++ problem. Besides, the language felt extremely similar to C, but it was only when I deliberately picked a problem that required an unordered map that I felt like I actually learned. Now, of course, I haven't studied data structures yet, but now I know that there's a data structure with constant time insertion, deletion, and access. And now I'm aware that C++ has a lot of these built into its standard template library. So if you pick problems that force you to use features of the language, then yes, I'd say this is a good way to learn. But for now, I'm probably going to start grinding LeetCode daily.